Greetings, cherished subscribers and first-time visitors to our channel, Set Apart for Purpose. We're delighted that you've chosen to embark on this enlightening journey through the captivating narratives found within the Bible. Our aim is to offer you a deeper understanding of the figures, events, and teachings that have shaped centuries of faith and continue to hold relevance in our lives today. Together, we'll explore the intriguing complexities of biblical characters, the profound lessons hidden within their stories, and the timeless wisdom that we can draw from these ancient texts. We strive to create a space where we can all learn, grow, and foster a deeper connection with these profound stories. So whether you're a seasoned Bible scholar or just dipping your toes into the vast ocean of biblical narratives, we're glad you're here. In today's video, we will unravel the story of Jephthah, an intriguing character from the book of Judges. Jephthah, a name that sparks curiosity, was a prominent figure in the Old Testament. Born as the son of Gilead, his beginnings were far from noble. His mother was a prostitute, and he grew up in a society that didn't shy away from shaming him for it. Despite his less-than-ideal upbringing, Jephthah was a man of strong character, resilience, and bravery. He refused to let his past define him, instead choosing to carve out his own destiny. Jephthah's life took a dramatic turn when his half-brothers, the legitimate sons of Gilead, drove him away from his father's house. Forced into exile, he found acceptance among a band of outcasts in the land of Tob. This was a pivotal point in his life. There he grew into a mighty warrior and a leader of men. In the midst of the Israelites' struggle against the oppression of the Ammonites, they remembered Jephthah. The elders of Gilead sought him out, asking him to lead their people into battle. Despite their past animosity, Jephthah agreed, motivated by his loyalty towards his people and his desire to serve God. He was appointed as a judge of Israel, a role he served for 6 years. Jephthah's story is one of courage and faith, but it is also a tale of profound complexity. He was a man who rose from the ashes of rejection and shame to become a respected leader. Yet his life was far from perfect. He made a vow to God, a vow that would lead him down a path of unimaginable sorrow. A mighty warrior, Jephthah led the Israelites to victory against the Ammonites, but his story takes a tragic turn. His tale is a powerful reminder of the human capacity for resilience and the often unpredictable consequences of our actions. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the life of Jephthah, exploring his vow and the unthinkable sacrifice that followed. In the heat of battle, Jephthah made a vow to God, a decision that would forever alter his life. Jephthah, a mighty warrior, found himself in a desperate situation. As the leader of the Israelites, he faced a formidable enemy, the Ammonites. In the midst of the chaos and uncertainty of war, Jephthah turned to God, seeking divine intervention. Jephthah's prayer was not a mere plea for help. It was a vow, a solemn promise made to God. He said, "If you give the Ammonites into my hands, whatever comes out of the door of my house to meet me when I return in triumph from the Ammonites will be the Lord's, and I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering." This was Jephthah's pact with God, a pledge of gratitude for victory. This vow was not made lightly. In the ancient world, vows were sacred, binding agreements. They were not to be broken. Jephthah's vow was a testament to his faith, his belief in God's power and justice. He was willing to offer a significant sacrifice to secure victory, to ensure the survival of his people. Yet, Jephthah's vow was also a gamble. He did not specify what he would sacrifice. He left it to chance, promising to offer the first thing that greeted him upon his return home. He might have expected an animal, perhaps a goat or a sheep, but he did not expect a person, let alone someone dear to him. And so, Jephthah went to battle, his vow to God echoing in his heart. He fought with all his might, trusting in God's favor. And indeed, God delivered the Ammonites into his hands. Jephthah emerged victorious, his enemies vanquished. He returned home triumphant, ready to fulfill his vow. Victorious in battle, Jephthah returned home, unaware that his vow would lead to an unimaginable sacrifice. His joy was short-lived, for the first to greet him was not an animal but his only child, his beloved daughter. Jephthah was faced with the harsh reality of his vow, a promise that would cost him dearly. But that is a story for the next scene. As Jephthah approached his home, the door opened, and out came his only child, his beloved daughter. A moment of joy turned into a heart-wrenching realization. His victory on the battlefield was now overshadowed by the vow he had made, a promise to the Almighty, a pledge that now demanded the unthinkable sacrifice. His daughter, innocent and full of life, came out to celebrate her father's victory, oblivious to the doom that her father had unwittingly pronounced upon her. Imagine the shock, the disbelief, the sheer horror that must have gripped Jephthah's heart. But a vow to God is not something to be taken lightly. Jephthah, torn between his duty to God and his love for his daughter, was caught in a whirlwind of emotions. The pain of having to fulfill his vow, the agony of losing his only child. The daughter he loved so dearly was a price too high, a sacrifice too great. Yet he stood by his word. Jephthah's daughter, demonstrating remarkable courage and faith, accepted her fate, further magnifying the tragedy of this tale. This devastating incident underscores the gravity of our promises to God. The implications of Jephthah's vow were dire, resulting in the loss of his only child. It's a stark reminder to us about the power of our words and the commitments we make. This story is not about God's demand for sacrifice. Instead, it's about the consequences of making hasty vows. It teaches us the importance of considering our words carefully, especially when we are making a commitment to God. Our words have the power to build or destroy, to bless or curse. They carry weight, especially when uttered in the presence of the divine. In the grand tapestry of biblical narratives, Jephthah's story stands out as a solemn reminder of our responsibilities and the repercussions of our actions. It's a poignant tale of love, faith, and sacrifice that continues to resonate with us today. Jephthah's story teaches us the weight of our words and the profound consequences of our promises to God. Jephthah was one of the many leaders of Israel, each with their unique narratives and lessons. Now, let's delve a bit into the broader scope of Israel's leadership. The kings of Israel were instrumental figures who played pivotal roles in shaping the course of history. These kings, from Saul, the first king, through to Zedekiah, the last, graced the throne of Israel, each leaving indelible marks on the sands of time. King Saul, a man of towering stature, was the people's choice, but his reign was marred by disobedience and ultimately ended in tragedy. His successor, King David, a shepherd boy turned king, was a man after God's own heart. He expanded Israel's borders, established Jerusalem as the capital, and his reign marked a golden era in Israel's history. His son Solomon, famed for his wisdom, built the magnificent temple in Jerusalem, yet his later years were marked by a drift from God. Beyond these iconic figures, there were kings like Ahab and Manasseh, whose reigns were marked by idolatry and wickedness, and others like Josiah, who sought to bring the nation back to God. Each king, including Jephthah, contributes to the rich tapestry of Israel's history, providing us with valuable insights. Jephthah's story, while tragic, carries important lessons for us today. It invites us to reflect on the gravity of our decisions, the power of our words, and the solemnity of our promises, particularly those made to God. Jephthah's hasty vow teaches us the importance of careful decision-making. It reminds us that our choices, especially those made in moments of desperation, can have far-reaching consequences. His story tells us not to make promises we might not be able to keep. Additionally, Jephthah's tale underscores the power of words. It illustrates how a hastily spoken vow can bind us, change the course of our lives, and even impact those we hold dear. Lastly, Jephthah's sacrifice is a stark reminder of the weight of promises made to God. It impresses upon us the seriousness of such commitments and the responsibility they entail. In understanding Jephthah's story, we gain a deeper appreciation of the power of faith, the weight of our words, and the responsibility of our actions. We've journeyed through Jephthah's life, a narrative filled with victory, tragedy, and profound lessons. We've witnessed his vow, his unimaginable sacrifice, and explored the reign of the kings of Israel. Jephthah's story urges us to consider the weight of our promises and the importance of wisdom in decision-making. Let's carry these lessons into our daily lives. If you found this video enlightening, please subscribe, like, and share to help our channel grow. Stay tuned for more deep dives into biblical narratives. Until next time, keep seeking understanding and wisdom.